I don't know how to increase this. I need to hold on.
Don't let them see the flower on that thing.
Huh?
Don't let them see the flower. Put it down there.
Need to download that.
I think you know, right? If I rest on it. Funny, so you might as well just use your laptop 2 more times and miss that out.
Doesn't matter. Which one you're gonna sing it on to? All you have to do is move this. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I'm telling you this presentation, Sandy.
Y'all got, we got a whole
Yeah.
good afternoon.
You said you have a whole 2 hours, Miss
Huh?
You said we have a whole 2 hours?
For what? No, we have the presentation. We have the presentation for not compensation and benefits.
Oh,
The lady, she should be here.
So what do we go over for 10 minutes?
You have 15 to 20 minutes. Oh. Remember I said a maximum 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Max, and you should be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I would think so.
So how long is our presentation? How long is our presentation?
Should be about an hour.
About an hour.
Should be an hour and 10. Oh, the park is someone wanted to be sitting over there and reading.
It's great.
Yeah, watch it now. What's up with you?
Oh, this is her now.
That's ready to go.
It's now and now.
Yeah. So she woke up with shoe and
Abigail was off today.
wow.
Yes, I would like to thank our students. I'm gonna no. Anyone? No one?
Yeah, she has a very
Yes, you do. You have a nice voice to speak in.
Thank you. You do it, Dee?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
So when we have the presentation after the speaker?
Yes.
After
the speaker.
So let's rush together. Let's come on.
I will share with all I would have loved to just that's gonna be long.
Yeah, that's positive.
Yeah.
You update now.
Oh, you say gum update.
I update. No update. So restructuring. Y'all finished that. Then you should have update to me. Chanel, all right. She on it, right? Or I have no update. I swear I can't get no update because she in there. I called her and they say she's on it.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I could have wanted to check it.
It was a female, so of course it wasn't you.
I just making sure.
Yeah. Wait, this you? So y'all did anything since y'all had any higher stuff?
I had an interview at the about 5-6 years ago. You weren't there. This lady named Miss Ferguson. She interviewed me, and then like a month later, she was gone.
After
I'm sorry.
the lady. See that happened. Sometimes. Normal. That's normal.
That happens.
Yeah.
Man,
I am ready for work at that, but well, I guess it was a time.
I'm gonna rest of my team though. Yeah, I probably before that.
You said the
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, I'm the two. One of the young.
So that's what you said.
That's the lady. I sit somewhere.
And
So
I remember.
I'm supposed to bring support. When I started out, last semester, every night. So. No, which means, I don't know what she did. I don't know what that is. That's
She was going back to. Girl, yes, girl. I tell you what, it's a big guy.
That's right. And I'll keep
My side is literally just me. Like but I
This yours? Yes. We don't have her.
If it is, I can let you stand and press it. You can get it into the right portion. Because I'm not trying. Yeah, that's fine. Seems like it's too wide. Or I have my jump back. I can use.
You have it on my, to use my computer.
I can.
Let me ask.
I'm good to use your computer. Okay.
All right, because I could have asked Miguel to come and just tell me.
I think it's too, I think it's too wide, but I could.
It'll come with something.
I checked my phone. I said, "Oh, it's really nice."
Girl, look here. Everyone asks me that. But I called Kim. She said it's not here.
Oh, okay.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you, Soma?
How are you?
Hi, Miss Bodie. I'm excellent. We're gonna get started in 5 minutes.
You had an awesome weekend?
Yes, how was yours? Yes, it was.
Awesome. It was awesome. Now, I have a situation.
What's that?
I have a business dinner tonight.
The whole class is hearing you because you're on Zoom. So be careful what you say now.
No, no, I have a business dinner tonight. I thought we were going first, but I heard that we have a presentation.
Yeah.
Now, I can watch the presentation. I can be in the class, but when it's time for me to do mine, Glennie will have to give me a call so I can say my part in our presentation.
She's going to be in a meeting. Yes. Okay, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You're lucky 1 minute for this. I supposed to be closing out your presentation. No, who's the service? What I did here.
So I will be sharing so that the person on Zoom will be able to see.
Yeah.
Oh, she can see the.
She's here.
Okay.
Give me a jump line. It's so warm. Why is it so warm tonight?
Okay, George.
Okay, I'm Miss Carol. Half today. First grade. You can wait up that more.
Yeah. Oh, you started again, eh?
Yes.
Oh, I bet. Now, you can only be freezing. I don't know quite what's happening. What's
It was on though. It was on just now, right?
I had it on, yeah, but I took it out too.
No problem. It's sometimes
Because what happened, she have a thing on top, and it couldn't, the thing that, the projector, you know, that, the connection.
yes, and sometimes it's come in and out.
Yeah, that's in mine, right? But yeah.
Oh.
That's my.
Oh, sorry. Good.
No problem.
It's represented. This
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That should be there.
That's it there. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so she wants.
Yeah, but we wanted to come on. Okay.
You should be good. Okay.
Just
Okay, Bodie, you can see that, right? Bodie?
Yeah, yeah. I can see
Okay.
it.
Okay, yes, wonderful. All right, that's
how are you, darling?
I guess.
I know that it's me.
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good to see you. Okay, good evening, everyone. You've had 10 minutes grace, and we normally started on time. So I want you to put your presentations away, please. I want no more discussion with that now. We need your undivided attention for the class. And she's checking, he said, give it 10 more minutes, it should be okay. But you know, this is not the norm. We normally be freezing inside. Okay, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everyone here tonight? And one person missing, Alyssa? Anastasia, right. Anastasia is missing, I got from her. So wonderful. Okay, and we say we have our party come girl, come back with all the goodies and things. I don't know what it's all about, but we really do value, Kendra, we really value you. And thank you so much. But this evening, I am so privileged to have with us. And I want your attention because, and to what she's going to be sharing. Because I decided when I was preparing for this course that we needed more support along with the booklet that Mrs. Marcel had prepared, because there's so much that has happened and is, happening in HR that we need to extend. And I met this lady probably about 5 years ago professionally. I'd met her many more years before that, but not in a professional setting. And she has been one of the few persons I've come across who really understands how to align compensation and benefits with, she smiles, seriously. So, and I've worked, like you all know my history, right? Yeah. She's aligned compensation and benefits with the different processes in HR. And we've been talking about all the different processes, mainly the administrative, the strategic, and the operational processes which take place in an organization. And only must be 2 or 3 of you all get that first question right. But anyhow, we can get to that later. But we'll get to that later. We will revise that chapter. But comp and ben is a key function, a major function in human resource management. And you have to have an understanding of it to be able to function efficiently. And I met Joy Dean. We worked together for several years. And she came into an area and brought a lot of order to an area that needed it. And so she is presently the senior manager of human resources at the National Insurance Board, okay? And she functions and leads that aspect of in the human resource department. National Insurance has over 600 employees. And so she manages that for just under 600 employees.
No, we're over 600 now.
Over 600, yeah, an election just took place.
We're over 600.
Over 600, and that's an awesome task, okay? That's no light task. So you're having one of the best again tonight, who will share with us so that you get a better understanding of what happens in that area, how it aligns with everything else that happens in human resources. She was once again, no, you came in a little after me, but she was one of the best selections I made. I think in my life in human resources, and to getting it right. Very supportive woman, lady. She's a Christian, a believer. She has 3 children. Okay, and so she has a lot of other, I don't want to call it distractions, but activities that keep her busy as well. And so I present to you Mrs. Joy Dean. You can tell them anything else you want to tell them about yourself. And she teaches HR also with the University of the Bahamas and the University of West Indies as well. So Ms. Joy Dean.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Bethel, thank you so much. And as I told her when she called me, it's a privilege to even be considered to come and talk to you about compensation and benefits. And it just speaks to just how much she appreciated me while I worked under her. She was my boss, to be honest with you. And she was a tough boss, but she was my best boss today. Very nice person. I called her my mother. So thank you once again for inviting me. Okay, so tonight we are, as I go on, if there's anything that you may need to find out, if questions you may want to ask, you can ask as I give you the presentation. And of course, at the end, I will open the floor up even further for any other questions that you may have.
Let me leave your card.
My card?
Are you gonna leave your card?
My card?
Yeah.
I'm easy to find. Can I be?
No.
Oh, our operators are really doing well now. They're answering the phone. I can tell you that they're doing an awesome job, okay? Yes, but I don't have a card, but you definitely, if you need to locate me, just ask for Joy Dean and then trust me, they will give you either my desk number or they will definitely transfer you to me, okay? I promise you, because it happens all day. Okay, so tonight we're going to learn of the fundamentals of compensation and benefits. Now, we call it a science in human resources because, as Ms. Bethel said, you have to understand the dynamics of compensation and benefits as it pertain to what it covers. And what that is, it covers from the salary down to when you're hired, from the salary that you may be making to when you're actually exiting the company, as it pertains to your pension benefit, etc. Okay, so in between all of that, there are other ways to be compensated and also ways to receive bonuses, etc. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm not going to have you calculating and doing all those other stuff and hurting up your head and the percentage for the banks, etc. We're not going to do all of that. But if you have questions pertaining to that, I'll be free to answer any of those questions. Okay. So what are we going to cover? We will cover tonight what are compensation and benefits. Okay, we're going to understand exactly what that covers. Why are compensation and benefits important? Why is it important to the organization? And why is it important to you? And I'll consider you as the employee. Are you considered as managers tonight? They're the organization, right? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll consider half of you as the organization, representing the organization, and then half of you as being the actual employee. Okay, even though you're all employed, you would be the organization who would be providing for the employee, and of course the employee will be receiving. Okay. 3, compensation and benefits and employee motivation. Okay, if you now we go with, I feel like I can never be compensated enough. That's just how valuable I am. However, we know once a company sees your worth, your value, and they compare it to the competition, and you know that you're being compensated fairly, you're happy. So we're going to talk about those benefits and the employee motivation, what motivates you. And of course, the compensation and benefits package. Okay, what makes up a good compensation and benefits package? Unfortunately, some organizations do not have benefits. Okay, I pray that no one in here who's sitting down does not fall under that category. Let me retract that. All organizations have benefits because you are supposed to have vacation by law, okay, by law. So that's a benefit. So some organizations have limited benefits. So let me retract that and say it correctly, okay? Limited benefits, and it's only what the government would mandate. Okay, so that's what makes it difficult for some employees. And it's getting warmer though.
Yeah,
I
he
think
said, yeah, she said give it 10 minutes.
No
so it's
problem.
kicking, yeah.
Okay, and so at the end of the day, the benefits that you would receive as an employee can determine whether or not you would remain with that organization or not. Okay, so we're going to talk about that tonight as well. So compensation and benefits, what we call it in the HR arena, comp and bends. Okay, so that's how we abbreviate it, comp and bends. And these compensation and benefits are two very important aspects of human resources. What I want you to know, because for those of you who are not management, I know you're aspiring to become a manager, okay? And for those of you who are in management, you are aspiring to become at an even higher level in management. Now, with compensation and benefits, HR as a whole, as you know, you have to be passionate about what you do in human resources, okay? I don't know if at the end of the day you are actually going to be in human resources, but at some point you would have to have an impact with the employees. So what you would need to do is understand that even though you're representing the organization, for those of you who are actually managers, you would still have to understand the employee and what it is that they would need. What is it that they are going through, okay? What do I mean when I say that? I use COVID-19, the pandemic, as the most recent example. Everyone was impacted, the entire world was impacted, okay? And of course, organizations learned all sorts of things in terms of what can be done with working with employees, working, how they work, etc. Some organizations where I work, NIB, we only could come to work whatever your time band is, meaning 9 to 5, 8 to 4, what have you. But the pandemic forced us to have persons to work remotely, okay? And we have flexi hours, but some organizations, because of the pandemic, they were, I guess, they were able to allow flexi time within their organizations as well. Even though we are a developing nation, that's what we call ourselves, right? We've been developing from I was born. But at the end of the day, I still feel that with some of the components that we work with in the organization, we're a little bit behind. But COVID-19 allowed us as a country to open up our eyes to a lot of things that could be happening. Globalization is here. Okay, it is here. And of course, some companies, maybe somewhere you work, you have that impact, okay? But some organizations here, and more particular the government sector, the public sector, they had to make some changes within their organization to ensure that everybody is comfortable and you still be able to be employed, etc. Now, the impact that COVID-19 had on all of us is that we had to think differently, okay? We had to work differently. And because of that impact, we as human resource managers, we had to even be more empathetic when it came to the employees, including ourselves. But you make up your face. But as a human resource manager, oh, she can't see it. Okay, as a human resource manager, you would have to give up of yourself, and of course cater to the employee, who is, the employee is the internal customer. And this is what I even tell my team today, that Ms. Bethel left behind for me to still try and develop, okay? This is something that you chose to do. So yes, everyone is having the same problems that we are having. We may be even having more problems, but at the end of the day, you decided to work in human resources. So this is what we have to do. So I'm saying all of this to say to you, compensation and benefits. We have persons, their house always burning down, okay? There's always a medical emergency. There's always an educational emergency for their child, even for themselves. Something is always happening. So what we would have to do in terms of catering to the employee, we would have to adhere to the policies and the procedures of the organization, as well as be empathetic and understand exactly what is going on in this employee's life. So, why are you smiling?
I want to say something, but I don't want to.
Go ahead. That's okay. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I agree with you 100% what you're saying. We should be empathetic, being in management with our staff, you know. At the same time, I need staff members to understand. When you have, I won't say a problem, a concern, when you have an issue, you don't just sit and gossip and carry on among yourselves, or even by yourself and trying to cause, what's the word I'm looking for, help me, confusion in the workplace. Sit, speak with your immediate supervisor, or even if you're not comfortable with them, you can even go up higher, discuss.
So why are you saying that?
I'm saying that because I had an experience, you know, like you said, COVID-19. Things became tough for a lot of people, especially persons who work on an hourly rate. You get paid by the hour. If you don't work, you don't get paid, so on and so forth. And it was said to me, because I just got so annoyed with one of the employees, every day you come to work, you just, the female dog word complaining, just doing that. And I'm like, I said, you know what? I said, instead of doing this, I said, stop carrying on like this. You come up here every morning saying those words and carrying on, oh, the boss is. I said, you have a concern, you have an issue, sit down, have a discussion, whom you need to have a discussion with. I said, at the end of that discussion, if you don't feel you're satisfied with what decision is made, then what you do is you make up in your mind what's the next best move for you.
Correct.
In the interim, you come to work every day, you put your best foot forward and you shut your mouth. I didn't say that, but you know what I mean.
I understand.
But don't try to cause confusion and upset, and because you know when you do that, it tends to. You can imagine I come in the office with you every morning.
I have that.
At one point, if you are not strong in who you are, you may find yourself just going along with it. Then Susie, and then me. But anyway, that's why.
What I can say to you as a manager, because that's happening as a chronic employee, and what that's going to continue. But what you have to do as a manager is you remain professional, and you continue to encourage them to be positive. Okay, you have to be that catalyst to display positivity. I'm telling you. And eventually you're going to see a change. I'm telling you this. I can tell you this from experience. Okay, it's hard, but at the end of the day, you know that it's just more than one person who you're working with, and they are trying to poison the other person. So you still work on that individual, and they're going to continue. But once you remain positive, I promise you, at the end of the day, you're going to see a change.
I've seen it.
Yes.
I continue.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So I say that as an HR professional, that's one of the things we have to do. Okay. When you leave your door at home, no matter what you do, I'm going to go back to all of this is competence, because as an HR professional, I have to do this. I have to leave. I don't even leave my problems at the door of NIB. I leave my problems at the door when I leave my home before it even gets in my car. Okay. Because I know what I'm about to face. Okay. And I have to tell myself, okay, Joe, you have to be positive. So let's go and do this. Of course, I pray while I'm on my way to work, you know, and say, God is you. In fact, I send the angels ahead of me. And then at the end, and then at the end of the day, you know, I put on my professional cap and I do it. Okay. It is not an easy task. People believe that human resources is just coming in, signing papers. Oh, this is what I'm filing. I told them, no, you are actually dealing with the whole person.
And their family.
Of course, and even more so now, okay? And compensation and benefits, we deal with the whole family because like I said, emergency, educational, medical, the cat died, the fish drowned, if that makes any sense. The fish drowns, okay? All the stories. So anyway, so I'm being time respectful. I'm going to keep within my hour, okay? Yes. So the compensation, the definition, it includes wages, salaries, payments like bonuses, profit sharing, depending on where you work, you will get some of these. Overtime pay, monetary recognition, reward, and sales commission, okay? Compensation can also include non-monetary perks like a company paid car, or they can give you a gas allowance, okay, if you're using your own vehicle, and they can also give you the allowance to have your car maintained, maintenance, etc. And also a company paid housing, for example. All right, so if for persons who would be traveling to a particular area, they would pay them relocation, they would give them the relocation bonuses, etc. All right. So benefits, any additional advantage an employee receives from his or her employer. So benefits include health insurance, all right? Vacation time, like I said, I retracted what I had said. All organizations should receive benefits because the law mandates that you should have vacation. But sick days, definitely. However, some employers, I mean, I don't want to say it, they play hardball when it comes to their employees taking vacation, etc. Okay, but that's illegal. We're going to talk about that. Pension plans, free lunch vouchers, and I have here days off, which include casual leave, emergency leave, sick days, like you said, maternity leave, paternity leave, all the other leaves that you would be familiar with as well. Okay. Yes.
Emergency leave. I didn't want to say that. I'm in HR. By
yes.
The way. And you know, we have like if a member of your family died, that's
compassionate leave. So that's
I had a staff who's a supervisor called in. Oh, my brother got killed last night. I'm gonna come to work. Actually, she didn't call. She sent a text to her manager. So out of compassion, all of the managers in the department is trying to get in contact with her to give condolences, to see if she needs anything, you know, being the company that we are. And she's not responding to anyone, and we found it weird. I mean, yeah, you're grieving, so maybe you don't want to speak to anyone right now, but it wasn't even a relative of hers.
Okay.
So and she took 3 the grievance days. She take these days. She can't come into work. So everybody say, oh, Miss Webb, you just get tough. I say, let me tell you something. See, I work for foreigners. And I tell them, I say, I know my people. So if you allow Tom to get away with it, Dick, Harry, Jane, Sue, Mary, and Lou, all the feel they're gonna get. Okay? So when she returns back to work now, and everybody's gonna she's sticking to her story.
Right.
She's sticking to it, but see, the sad part about it is I am close knitted to a close relative of hers. So when she sent the message, I called my friend. Oh, have my condolences. I didn't know your cousin died. She's like, what cousin?
But that's still too much.
Santa in distress. Because I'm like, because she's like, what cousin? What are you talking? You know,
what policy do you have in place?
It's in place.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'm waiting for the funeral.
Okay.
I'm waiting for her to take this time off. And I just said, bring the obituary.
Right.
Because I can need to see survived by his sister.
And how was that dealt with after
no, she ain't back yet.
Oh, she's not back, is it? Oh, this just happened.
Taking a free time off.
Okay.
Because there's somebody she's dating relative.
I can tell her how she could deal with that, but I won't in the class. Afterwards.
You will tell her. She's telling you come to her after
the class. I can tell her how to deal with that situation. Yes. Okay? Yeah. Yes, but no, she is definitely out of order and she's not following the policy.
You have persons underneath you.
I have to set an example.
Okay. So now everybody say my captain.
That's fine. No, you need to nip that in the bud right away. But anyhow, both compensation and benefits are important because they can help attract and retain talented employees for an organization. Okay. So salary, once your salary is attractive, you're good. And definitely if the benefits are good, I mean, you're the happiest employee ever. Let me tell you how I was in my younger days. I was always paid okay, well, okay. But you know what was important to me? Those benefits. I can tell you that. And I took a job that paid me less than what I wanted, but they had such good benefits. Okay. What companies do, and you can do this too. You know, sometimes your organization would pay probably 50% of your health insurance, sometimes 100%, 75% or what have you. Can I say this to you? Some organizations do this even when they are actually writing job letters, or even when they ask, depending on what it is, that the letter should have in it. If an organization is paying a portion of your health insurance, that can be considered as a part of your compensation. Okay? A lot of people don't know that, but I learned that early in my career, because the organization is paying a specific percentage that you don't have to pay. Even though the percentage that you're paying is being deducted, whatever that organization is paying, that can be considered as a part of your compensation, especially if that's a policy for them to cover you as long as you are employed. Okay? So that's just a little tip. All right. So the importance of benefits and compensation and benefits. Now, why is it important that I get paid? You would not work if you don't get paid. Who would go to work tomorrow knowing that they're not going to be compensated? Nobody. Who coming out their bed in all this rain to say, I going to work and I know I ain't getting paid? Nobody. It is illegal not to pay employees. Unfortunately, we have some organizations in our country who do not pay their employees when they should.
What about the government?
The government pays very well. They pay. They delay in your pay depending on paperwork, etc. Okay, but they get paid. But private companies, knowing that they don't have to, they would still not pay their employees as they should. Okay, they would delay by a month or 2 weeks. However, it's bi-weekly. However, but I know of this private companies, they would intentionally not pay their employees. Okay, on time. Okay, but that is illegal. I also know of a case where a particular private company, their employees work on commission and they pay the base salary as $150. So I had to tell the HR manager, what is minimum wage?
$2.60 now.
I said, what is minimum wage?
I know that company very well.
No, I think it's a completely different. Yes, a lot of them. I said, supposing your employee does not make any commission this week, you're gonna send them with $150 and minimum wage is $2.50. I said, no, you're robbing them. You need to, I said, you either bring them up to the minimum wage and lessen the percentage for the commission, but you have to pay them the minimum wage. That's law. But a lot of companies in our country are not doing that, and that's illegal.
And they get by with it. I'm a company that stipulates commission with minimum wage.
Yes,
it's like we have an addendum. You know, whereas it just states that if you do not satisfy the minimum wage by the government, that the government has in place for the country, we would satisfy that amount at the end of every month. But even though they collect commission weekly.
Right.
So what we do is we have monthly periods that we calculate to see what you generate. And if you don't, we pay that. And you know they still have a problem.
No, but you're doing it the right way. These other companies, they're not even bringing it up to the minimum wage.
From January
that's excellent.
1st, it was
that's good.
I had it at $2.60. And if you know the trouble I just go through with these people, I say, my God, but you want me to take my skin off and give you all my
No, you just keep smiling and say this is the company's policy. Okay.
That's nice. When they get them, they commission every week, they don't come.
Okay. All right, so I'm listening to you, I'm hearing you, and continue to pour in. Yeah, okay. A significant expense with a clear goal, okay? This is what compensation is. It's defined, so compensation and benefits, this is the actual definition. It's defined as a social contract between the employer and the employee, okay? Where the employee completes tasks, that's your duties, and the employer rewards this by paying the employee with a salary / wages and benefits. Okay, so when you're hired, you sign something. That's your contract.
Read it.
Don't be so excited. Sign right there. Oh yeah, And then 6 months later, you come to go to your HR manager and say, I didn't know this. How come I'm not getting this? Why am I being paid this? I don't understand. Read, Bahamas, read. Okay? Because I can tell you as an HR professional when I get my calls, Miss Dean, I didn't know this. Miss Dean, I didn't know that. I go right on my scan, right? And I look and I see, I said, oh, you signed it. I said, but you signed for this. But I remember that. I said, oh, did you get a copy of your contract? Yes. I said, go and reread it, please. I said, but I see your signature to the bottom of this contract.
I said I'm initial every page too.
Okay. Yeah.
Read it and initial every page. Because you need to say you ain't seen
because they have selective amnesia. Okay. So that's the actual definition where the employee comes to work. I sign that this is what I'm agreeing to. I'm assigning to the salary that I'm getting, the benefits, whether it's only the 2 weeks vacation or the 4 weeks, whatever it is, I'm signing. If I do half days on whatever, I'm signing to all of that. Okay. And in return, you're going to pay me for that. All right. So that's the contract. So in smaller companies, an HR generalist, I'm sure you know this, that's someone who does everything pertaining to HR. You hire, you fire, you do the payroll, you do the employee relations, all the fund days and everything, you do all of that. One person. They may have 2 assistants, and I can tell you about that because I know about that, okay? So that's what an HR generalist is. If you are an HR generalist, please pat yourself on the back because at the end of the day, you can work in any area of human resources, okay? Because you're doing everything, okay? In larger companies, specific departments and units of the departments would perform aspects of this process, like in my case, okay, at NIB. I work in the human resources department, but I have my unit, compensation and benefits, okay? And that's my focus, that's all I do. I just focus, but under compensation and benefits, we have pension, we have group health insurance, we have time and attendance, and of course we have payroll. Time and attendance when they clock in and out. They're coming to work, making sure you come to work on time. Our friend, she has a situation with time and attendance right now, okay? Because her supervisor's not coming to work saying that she's on compassionate leave for somebody who's not even a relative. So that's a problem, okay? So that's what my focus is. All right. However, I can work in administration because, like I said, I was an HR generalist for years. All right. But some persons, they don't know they can only work in a specified area that they've been hired in larger companies. Yes.
So, as an HR administrator, what does that person focus on mainly?
Everything.
I mean,
some administrators,
other than, like you said, you deal with just compensation and benefits.
Right.
So the administrator doesn't deal with that.
Yes, you have some HR administrators who can focus on compensation and benefits. It depends on your organization.
But I wanted to know, like, if they have specific tasks, like how you have specific tasks is come and then.
Because of my organization being so big.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the HR administration, there can be an HR administrator who only does compensation and benefits, or an HR administrator who does everything. Okay. Who does everything.
And in a bigger company, a bigger capacity, what would an HR administrator person do?
They can do what they do. They would assist the manager.
Okay.
Okay.
In terms of hiring?
Yeah. You could do recruitment.
Recruitment.
Yes, you can assist the manager in recruitment. Most definitely the policies and procedures. When it comes to termination, you can assist with that, the exit interviews, etc. You know, it's so vast. It's a lot that you can do. Okay. Most definitely.
The structure
of the organization. And that depends on just how large the organization is and what they focus on as well. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so the specific manager would oversee certain areas like I just said, okay? Like I said, there's so much to do. So employee motivation. Now, what makes you motivated as an employee?
Money.
Okay, money, okay? Of course. So when an employee is communicated to honestly by the organization regarding their salaries, They trust the company more. And let me tell you what I'm saying what I mean when I say this. You know you're being hired as a manager in a particular area, okay? You don't know the workload that you're having. However, what your employer does, they go out and they look at other organizations, as whatever, another organization has a benchmark or what have you. So we call it the market rate or the going rate of what that position calls for. Now, depending on where you work, it could be a smaller company or it could be a large company, but it's also based on the profit that the organization is making. Okay, so even if it's a big organization, you may not be making so much in terms of your profit line. So what organizations do, because they see the worth of who they're hiring, they would give you a salary, they will quote to you a salary within that market rate. So when you come there and you learn that, you'll be like, oh, so they didn't take advantage of me. Thank God. I have an example I can give. I've been in HR for over 25 years. You make up your face again.
Because I know that's what the mindset.
Let me tell you, my first job, fresh out of college, excited. All I wanted to do was work. I was so excited. Going to the interview, dead happy and what have you. Told them what I was able to do, told them what I studied in school. They were like, oh, Miss Dean, okay, yes. Are you willing to learn? You willing to go to training? I said, yes, whatever. How much do you want? 100,000. I told them what I wanted. And that's what they gave me. When I bust up in that place for real to start working, and I started to go through the paperwork and see what the position called for, and I looked at the person who I replaced salary, and I was like, oh, what have you? It's like, to my boss, I said, oh my God. I said, no. I said, this is what y'all pay me. She said, that's what you asked me for. I said, I didn't know. I said, but you knew. I said, this is not even a manager's salary. I said, this salary is less. Managers who are lower than me. Okay? I'm talking about, I am not lying to you. And you know what she said to me? She said, okay, we just want to observe you because you're freshly out of college or what have you, and you're doing a very good job. So they waited until, I think the probation was 6 months. So they waited until a year. And of course I got what I deserve after 1 year, which was fine. But let me tell you what she said. She said, when I left that interview room, they had big jokes on me. She said, we laughed at you for hours. And we said, oh, we are getting a steal.
So that's just going in and doing it. You're not doing your research.
Yeah, she's supposed to do.
Shut up, college.
Yeah.
Just one word.
Okay.
And that's what they did. So I was upset for that whole year. So that's what I'm talking about. Because I was like, okay, I know, but I know that I'm fresh out of college, but you knew better. You could have at least given me the minimum of what this position calls for.
When I was come back and down, I can ask him.
Okay, ask him.
Because when I told him what I was looking for, he was like, okay,
yeah,
right. So when I saw his response, so I asked him. I said, what was the highest you were willing to go? So when he told me the highest he was willing to go, I said, okay, we can go with that.
Yep. And they are dead serious. But I can say that the difference with the US and even in some organizations too who have US based units, even if you go below, they still have a minimum. They still have a scale. They still have that minimum that they have to pay you at, okay? But that was like 25 years ago. So back then it wasn't such a big thing, Now it's much better, but that's what happened.
They know why they asked me.
But once persons understand that, okay, so I'm being paid within that going rate, they feel good, okay? So number 2, when an employee understands that their compensation is commensurate with their skills, meaning me, I came fresh out of college or what have you, your college degree, when people say, oh, we're looking for someone with experience, your college degree is experience. It's just that you may not have that on-the-job training, but those years are to be accounted for as years of training because you're learning. Okay, some persons would work and learn, but for those who full-time students, I know all of you are not full-time students, but for full-time students, that degree counts as part of your work experience, okay? Organizations are catching on to that now. Yes.
A lot of these degrees don't even count as experience, but some of them have these degrees. And
it depends on where they go.
Like this.
Yeah, it depends on the school. That's why.
That's all. That's
so accredited.
They didn't have on the
job training. They're gonna learn. They're gonna learn. But yes, degrees are being counted. That yes, of that you would do. They're being counted now. That's how schools. That's how organizations are doing it now. Okay. Employees who feel as though their salary is fair are generally more productive and are more engaged in the company overall. Attractive benefits retain employees longer. Benefits usually require a period before the employee is vested, as you know. Vacation after 6 months, pension, fully vested after 4 or 5 years, depending on, you know, where you are, etc. Okay? Yeah, for some, for pension, yes. Okay, so how are salaries determined? So what makes you valuable? Okay, so some variables include the highest degree earned. That would determine how much an organization would pay you, your years of experience, and if you're getting a promotion, your tenure with the company, that will determine your position, how long you've been working in that particular position. Also, your current salary. Sometimes there's a scale max, okay? And so depending on all of that, that will determine how you're gonna be paid moving forward. Full-time equivalent status. Some persons are not full-time, okay? They're part-time, they're on contract. So that will determine how much you get paid as well if they decide to make you full-time. Your grade level or salary band classification, meaning what grade are you in? Some organizations have grades based on your position, and that will determine your salary as well. Employee location. There are some organizations that have units around the world, around the country, like for NIB, depending on what you are responsible for around NIB, I guess that can determine, even though there are scales, there's a scale, they still would determine based on what your responsibilities are, just how much you are to get paid. And of course, your job performance ratings, which is of course your evaluations, okay? Now, compensation and benefits versus total rewards model. I like this model because it, like I say, it's holistic. Human resources, like I say, caters to the whole person. Okay, mind, body, soul, spirit. That's how I look at it. Okay, so there's a total rewards model, which was invented by World at Work Incorporated. And it proposes that total rewards are made up of 2 elements, okay? So what makes you the best employee? What makes you the happiest employee? Direct compensation that we've spoken about already, that's your base salary, and the benefits which are offered by the company. 2, indirect compensation, and that's work-life balance. I'm sure you guys heard about this before, and you guy and you lady, okay? And that is the amount of time you spend doing your job versus the amount of time you spend with loved ones or pursuing personal interests and hobbies, okay? Some persons, they work all day. I'm guilty. Miss Bethel used to run me home.
Yes.
I work all day.
Yeah.
Some people, they talk all day, chatter all day. 5 o'clock, they out the door, stampede. You think horses are in the building, okay? And then others, they actually work, they're productive. They do leave on time and they go and do whatever. They go to church, they go cook for their families, etc. They have it balanced, okay? Now, that work-life balance would determine just how healthy you would be. And when I say healthy, I'm talking about how productive you're going to be within the organization and also personally healthy. That's mental health and also health for your body, okay? We are definitely looking at it now in terms of the importance, especially since the pandemic. Work-life balance, very important. So recognition, you know, when you have some award recognition of some services, etc., whether you recognize as employee of the month, employee of the quarter, employee of the year, years of service with the organization, etc., or even based on how well you work, okay? Depending on what it is, you can be the best person, you can be awarded an award, given an award based on how well you performed during that particular month, meeting your quotas, etc., okay? Training and development. I always tell people, you learn until you die. You learn until you die. I'm a trainer as well. I haven't trained in years, but you never lose it. So I always believe in training and development. And once organizations cater to their employees by ensuring that they are trained within the organization and the dynamics of whatever the organization calls for, and also outside training, then definitely it will make you a happier employee. All of these aspects combined make the employee happy, fully engaged, and stay longer with the company. The employee's work-life impact, their total satisfaction. Look at the happy employees. We're not talking about the ones who are stealing. We're talking about the ones who are actually working and who have a balance, who have work-life balance in place, and who are compensated and who are happy with their employer. Okay, they're very productive and they're very happy, and they're the ones who are encouraging to all of the employees who may not be motivated. They try to motivate employees as well, okay? So I have a diagram of the total rewards and compensation. So it's the diagram, the Venn diagram, I guess that's what you call it. Direct compensation is on the outside, indirect compensation, but in the middle, we have all of it. We have everything, the internal culture, management recognition, work-life balance, etc. Your salary, fair compensation based on market rate, benefits, rewards, the better the benefits, the longer the employee is retained. The longer you stay at an organization, the better benefits you have. Okay, that's been proven. Work-life balance, and I can say that's been proven at NIB. Those people don't go nowhere. I say, Ms. Better, these people don't go nowhere, and they don't. Okay, very good benefits. Work-life balance, a good work-life balance is crucial for a happy career and a healthier employee. Recognition by upper management, supervisors, and externally, when you are even recognized outside of your job because of what you do, you feel good. I'm being recognized for what I do because Ms. Bethel invited me to teach you. And I told her she could never pay me for this. This is enough payment right here, just a matter of fact that she thought of me, okay? Training and development, mentor programs, upward mobility programs, all right? Okay, so what is a good compensation and benefits package? You may not have all of this, but this is what would keep an employee who you know is a good employee and who you would definitely not be able to lose this employee. A good salary. When they work overtime, pay them. Or if they're management, make sure you give them some incentive. Bonuses and commissions, give it to them. Retirement pension plan, an excellent retirement payment plan. Some persons, you know, some employees, employers, they allow you to 5% of your salary. And then some employers also allow you to even take out more, okay? Which most companies I was at, you could actually even take out more of your salary. They would still match that by whatever percentage, all right? But then once you see an organization has a pension program, it's excellent, and that's very good. And all companies do not have that. Stock options, depending on what it is. What is it? The port? What port just recently? What is it called? The cruise port, right? Okay. Organizations were extended that, you know, to purchase stocks, and then what we did, we allowed our employees to have salary deduction in order to be able to afford whatever the amount that they wanted. Okay. Vacation, like I said, that's mandatory, but some organizations go beyond what the government mandates. Okay. Some persons will go 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however long. Okay. Some organizations. Profit sharing, how much money the organization makes, you get a percentage. I know about that. Some of you may know about that too. I've worked at organizations that paid me because we met the goal and exceeded. And based on that percentage, I got that bonus, okay? Merit pay, that is, you know, what you get every year. That's something that you know it's happening based on your evaluation. So you're getting that makes you stay. Why wait for my money for next year? You ain't going, I ain't going nowhere. And I go into someplace where I know only giving me this extra money and then that's it for the rest of my life. No, I know I'm getting paid every year, okay? Relocation bonuses, organizations would pay you if you relocate wherever they would want you to go. Housing, school, and meal reimbursement, healthcare benefits, that's the big one, okay? Group life health insurance, very good. And some only have medical. God bless the organizations that include vision and dental, okay? And that is my presentation. So thank you. So any compensation benefits question that you may have or anything that I've covered, you may ask.
Is that something, your presentation, is that something can or would share?
Of course.
Can you send that to me?
Yes. That's all. You just give me your I can send it to Ms. Bethel or send it to them. What's easier? Send it to you. Send it to you, Ms. Bethel. That'll be easier. I need from
send it to me. And
yes, ma'am.
Accordingly.
Okay.
And everyone is very special. They'll get it.
Yes. Yes. So that is my presentation. I shortened it sort of because I was only given an hour. And I know yes, I asked her and she said yes.
And then another thing, as it speaks of compensation and benefits, I have some employees, management, preferably we're a new company, we're starting off, we're trying to get there. And I'm happy to say that I'm glad that this is my first time experiencing this, especially with a new company. So I get to sharpen my knife and I get to do things and cut all the lines perfectly. I have a manager who's been with the company 15 years. When she realized that they were opening location here, they did not offer her the opportunity to come here. She asked to be relocated.
Okay.
Even with her asking, they paid for her to be relocated, housing.
That was generous.
$3,500 per month. And she gets the total health package with vision, dental, all this stuff. And she gets a good salary and she still complains.
Okay. So some persons, I want you to know this. And it's not the organization. It's something going on in their personal life, work-life balance.
No, but I just explained to her, had you allowed them to offer you relocation, your employment would have, because, they started her as a new employee here because they did not offer to move her. She requested to be moved. So they told her, okay, we could relocate you to the Bahamas, but it has to be under a new company name and not our company that you're moving from. So that was the choice she made.
Correct.
And now she's saying, oh, well, I prefer them to don't pay my rent. Give me that money. Let me find a cheaper place. I say, and then when you move, you find this cheaper place, you're going to cry and say, well, I don't have enough money to pay my light, my water, my cable. So I say, it's always going to be a problem. I say, but look at this. Think about the staff, because she's a manager. Think about the staff under you who are not getting any of those benefits.
Yes.
Whose salary is nowhere near.
And who she's supposed to be mentoring.
Whose salary is nowhere near your salary. You have all these perks that you have. Think about them.
Have you done management training?
I'm doing, they're paying for this now. So
okay.
Anything that I'm open to, I want to do, the company is willing to
yes,
to
because your managers may need training.
And they get upset when they tell them they're not management material.
No, what you do is you let them know that they are being developed.
Why I have to tell them that? Why I have to tell them that? Because they come to me, oh, you knew this, you knew this. I say, I knew this, but I have more education on what it is to be a manager than you do.
Yeah.
I say you are a manager and you cannot execute your job as a manager. You cannot. It's sad.
Not okay. You may have that education on what is supposed to be done, right? They may have it too, but because of their personality,
and it's the culture too.
Know how to bring that education forward.
Right.
You understand me? They may know, but they just choose to be who they are.
And not even that.
And not take on the role the way they're supposed to.
And she said that that person was there for 15 years, right? So what's the mindset? What's the culture of that organization? So obviously you're there probably to make a change. So what you need to do is remain laser focused on what it is that you were hired to do. And you keep encouraging them. You are there to mentor those persons. You're over them, right?
I am.
Okay.
They don't see.
Don't worry about that. Do not worry about that. You need to remain.
You work at Asia by yourself.
You need to remain what it is that you were hired to do and stay focused. Okay. And they're going to eventually learn to respect you. Your respect is earned, you know. I see you're a newbie. So at the end of the day, I done been there, done that. I can tell you that. Miss Bethel could even tell you. But even prior to me with NIB, I could tell you. So at the end of the day, you just remain focused. You do what you're supposed to do. What you do not know, do not be afraid to. There's a society for HR managers. Make those calls and you ask them questions and you make sure that you're doing it properly. Okay? So you just remain focused and you do what you have to do.
People I can just pick up.
Right. So do not mind the negativity. Okay. The more negativity you get, you just remain positive. It's not easy, but the position that the chair that you're sitting in calls for that.
I sometimes I just have to say, I do apologize for that. Doesn't fall under my department. You see.
Right. That's fine.
But Miss Hawk, I'm sorry, but
and don't let them know that they're not management material. Just keep telling them that they're being developed. That's the way to tell them you're not where you're supposed to be. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, so you're all good?
I love the presentation.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Bethel.
I just want to say something here. Those benefits that person is, they're minimal compared to what you get when you as an expatriate in another country.
Yes.
But she said the key word, Ms. Bethel.
She's not an expatriate.
She asked to move.
And she's not an expatriate. She's a Bahamian.
Oh, but she asked to move.
She's a Bahamian, and she asked to move from where was she working?
In the Dominican.
She asked to be relocated.
So she asked to come back.
She's a Bahamian?
To be relocated.
You know, just for home.
Yeah, you see, so you have some policies. No, you didn't give us the whole story.
Right.
You have some policies that you need to tighten up and put in place, and that's why you keep running into these.
Yes.
You know what? Wait, 1 minute. No. Seriously, and I'm telling this, I'm telling you this to move forward. You're gonna hang yourself.
Yes.
Or the employees will hang you. Okay, I'm serious. Because if you don't have guidelines, and policies in place, you have nothing to reference and go back to determine how you deal with issues. Because if she's a Bahamian and she's returning home, she is not entitled to any benefits more than any other local Bahamian. So unless her management contract stipulates specific entitlements that she is to receive that she signed. Okay, now sometimes people go outside that. So you're gonna have another issue in another couple months with this same situation. If you do not put the proper policies in place and if you do not enforce them, and you're gonna keep bucking your head with this type of thing. So that's one of the main, I think I told you that before. You gotta, right, and that's what you have to do, continue to try.
How sufficient was it to give her the relocation? Yeah. How sufficient was that? Okay.
I know. Listen to me. She has a contract. She has no contract there, but the company are not in her contract. The company from where she moved to DR.
But you have to receive instructions. So paying her.
They did. They did all of this prior to me coming. I met all of these things. And the thing is, I have no record.
How long have you been to this organization?
6 months.
You just reached. Oh Lord.
And so I'm trying right now, and I'm trying to make them understand.
Excuse me, you need to hire somebody. She needs to but what you need to do is you need to start being so reactive.
You gotta be patient.
Do you have seasoned HR managers in your village? Seasoned. I'm not talking about people who.
But they're not seasoned for this country.
Do you have a Miss Bethel? Do you have a Miss Dean in your village? Okay. They need to be guiding you. Yeah, they need to be guiding you properly.
You don't do consultation. You have to make consultation.
Miss Maycott.
Oh, I thought you were going to give a presentation.
I love the double barrel name because I'm Denise Allen Pinder. I love to make sure call people by the double barrel. My husband tell me double barrel.
Okay.
So Ms. Maycott Dean, being a senior HR manager of over 600 employees and a mother of 3 is quite phenomenal.
Thank you.
So I give you kudos and I tip my hat to you on that. So with that being said, Mrs. Maycott Dean, we sincerely appreciate and value the time that you would have taken this evening to come and share with us your knowledge that you would have actually bestowed upon us and actually imparted to us
makes us become better, not only HR managers, but individuals. Like the saying goes, knowledge is power.
Yes, I hope you learned something tonight.
Yes, and you have certainly left your mark with empowering us here tonight.
Thank you.
To making us a more proficient and effective future HR managers. Some of the tidbits I would have also taken away from, I didn't even know there was something called an HR generalist.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
And so the difference between the smaller companies, the larger companies, and of course the definition. And one of my real takeaways is the difference between the direct and indirect compensation, because I value the indirect compensation, that work-life balance. I think without that, like you talk about body, mind, and soul, one of my favorite words is holistic. And that was something you used tonight. And I totally believe in being the holistic individual that makes you a better person overall, a better mother, a better leader, a better wife, a better friend.
Yes.
And so with that, on behalf of Mrs. Bethel's intermediate HR class, we thank you so much for this presentation, and we totally value your time and effort.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, I'm great. Okay. Yes. Take this chair. For me, please. But she's not getting that. There is an empty chair in the back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, she is. You're
gonna join us?
Yes, she is.
I know her.
Okay, Bodhi, you're still here? Anya?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll read. So the person, Diane came in first and they asked you to go first, whichever your team is.
Because the person has to leave, remember? Oh, no, she said the person in love.
Miss Bodhi is in.
You're on nine. Phone ringing. No, it's only 15 minutes, so.
It's fine. Who is Bodhi with?
Me and Abigail.
Okay. She's gonna be, how much more time do you have, Bodhi?
I told them I'll be there for 8. So I have to leave home at 7:30 to be at the restaurant.
We're gonna allow you to go first then.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll allow your team to go first.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. This team is gonna go.
Place, sorry.
Because Bodhi has to.
You're going place, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this.
So just
you're gonna use which computer you're gonna use? Okay, take that out.
Let me see if she has an adapter for this. Yeah, she does.
Okay, pull that out.
That's you? All right. All right.
So just the thought of you.
Yeah, shut it off.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take 20 minutes each, and remember 15 to 20 minutes for the groups. You're in groups of 3, 4, and you're dealing with you're formulating a company, I guess some of you have, or you're dealing with recruitment, and you're formulating, so I guess, your core values, your policies, and then you are defining or developing policies to support those core values, okay? And it's all centered around recruitment. Remember that this contributes to 20 points. So for record keeping, you send your presentation, as you know we always do, with the names of the persons who are in your group, so there's no mix-up. All right? So there's no mix-up. You send that to me. And you will be graded accordingly by which you present. Thank you, Dane, for joining us. And she's recruiting, okay? No, that's a joke. That's a joke. No. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, you. Okay, no, let me move. Where are you sitting? I need to. I'll sit right. Okay, great. And remember, keep your attention, please. I don't want anyone working on anything else during these presentations. Have mutual respect for your co-worker. And then when we're all finished, those sandwiches, and I see, would you like something to drink this? Okay, I see there's some drinks there as well. All non-alcoholic, you'll celebrate. Okay, let's go.
Good evening. Tropical Breeze All-Inclusive Hotel. Azia Bodie, myself, Abigail Evans, and Glendique Forbes. That'll be our team. Azia Bodie is our president. Yours truly is the chief executive officer. And Glendique Forbes is our chief operating officer. Very nice. Our introduction is, we would like to introduce you to Tropical Breeze, our exclusive resort. Tropical Breeze was founded in 2004 by a group of ladies. We had a vision for an all-inclusive resort to exceed all expectations. We have 150 hotel rooms and 20 villas. Our resort has 5 major restaurants featuring the world famous Bobby Flay, 10 poolside bars, and 5 hotel bars. Our vision is that we wow experience to all guests. Also to make our guests feel that we are family. Each employee has an important part in our organization for our resort to become successful. Our objective. Tropical Breeze All-Inclusive believes that hiring qualified individuals to fill positions contributes to our overall success of the company. Each employee is hired to make significant contributions to the resort. In hiring the most qualified candidates for the position, the following process should be followed. Our agenda: recruiting, selection, orientation, and placement. That was on the side.
Our area of focus this afternoon is hiring. Every employee adds to the productivity of the organization. Hiring the right people can contribute to the overall growth of the company and can also lessen the need to hire more employees. Remember, great employees are an investment that will pay off in the future. They will align their goals with the organization and understand that their success directly correlates to the organization. Our hiring policy. Firstly, personal requisitions. Personal requisitions must be completed to fill Tropical Breeze all-inclusive positions. Requisitions must be initiated by the department supervisor or manager, approved by the division vice president, and then forwarded to the human resource department. Personal requisitions should indicate the following: your position title, position hours and shifts, exempt or non-exempt status of the position, reason for the opening, essential job functions and qualifications, or a current job description may be attached. Any special recruitment advertising instruction. The intake meeting. HR will arrange a meeting with the hiring manager to conduct an intake meeting prior to posting a job opening to learn more about the position, the requirements, and the profile of the ideal candidate. The recruiting strategy will be set during this meeting and expectations established with all the key stakeholders. Job posting. HR will create job postings that briefly describe the job opening and communicate Tropical Breeze brand. All job openings will be posted concurrently on Tropical Breeze intranet and externally with sources appropriate for the position being filled. Jobs will remain posted until the position is filled. The HR department will be responsible for tracking all applicants and retaining applications and resumes as required. Internal applicants. Current employees with a satisfactory employment status may apply for internal job openings. The concepts of the employee's manager and the human resource department may be necessary for employees with less than 1 year of service with Tropical Breeze. All applicants for a posted vacancy will be considered based on their qualifications and ability to perform the job successfully. Internal candidates who are not selected will be notified by the human resource department. The interview process. The HR department and the hiring manager will screen applications and resumes prior to scheduling interviews. Initial interviews are generally conducted by the human resource department and the hiring manager using behavioral-based interview questions and a structured interview process. Candidate evaluation forms will be completed after each interview and retained with the application. The HR department will notify applicants who are not selected for positions at Tropical Breeze. Reference check. HR will conduct professional reference checks and employment verification on the top candidates based on the results of the candidate evaluation forms completed by the interviewers. A minimum of 3 professional references are required for each candidate. Job offer. After a decision has been made to hire a candidate, an offer will be made contingent on the satisfactory completion of required background checks and testing. Background checks will vary depending on the position and may include criminal history, credit history, driving record, drug testing, or any other relevant information for the job. Internal applicants must complete required background checks or tests not previously completed. Once the HR department receives satisfactory results from all required background checks and tests, candidates will be provided with a final job offer. If a candidate fails to accept an offer of employment within 7 calendar days, the offer may be rescinded by the company.
How we get there? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Clarity. When communicating, I think I need to turn. How can I do this? I hear him myself.
We can hear you clear.
Okay. Clarity. When communicating policies and procedures in the workplace, it should be clear, concise, and easy to understand. Be straightforward about why the change is necessary, exactly what is changing, what is staying the same, and what steps need to be taken by all employees to make sure they comply with the new requirements. Also spell out clearly, what the consequences are for the company if corporate policies are not followed. Accessibility. The easier you make it for employees to find their changed work policies, the easier it is for them to implement and adhere to them. The worst you can do is put any new employee rules in a place where they cannot easily locate them. You should have a clearly this I could hear myself and it's very annoying, but I can go ahead.
I'm gonna call you Azir.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay. You should have a clearly labeled and easy to find, navigate employee rules section on the internet site that sets out all companies' policies and procedures. In effect, this is a soft copy company manual. Whenever you make changes or updates to this company manual, you should send this communication to all employees outlining the changes and telling them where they can find the information. Communication. If possible, and if the business policy and procedures change warrant it, hold a meeting or a webinar with senior management in attendance to explain the need for the policy change and any consequences. Face-to-face communication on important issues often feel more accuracy, and help to build trust with employees. Even if change are announced via email or in writing in other official channels, it's still a good idea for employees to speak directly to their to speak directly to their employees about them in the, to speak directly to them in team meetings or even individually to ensure compliance. Summary. Policies should be reviewed on a regular basis to ensure they continue to comply with the law and needs of the organization. New laws, regulations, and court cases can affect both policy language and how employers implement the policy. Most experts suggest a thorough review of policy at least once a year. Employers should also use the resources that will keep them updated in the meantime, like subscribing to a service or becoming part of an organization that specializes in HR or employment. Thank you.
See y'all. Okay, that's our
sorry.
Yes, okay, that's our quote. That's our quote for our presentation.
The mission.
The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Yeah. So you can look us up. That's our website, okay? Yeah.
Very nice. No, I'm not getting feedback from it. You know, and we'll title this.
No.
I think Miguel has to do something to her. Or maybe somebody else should go first. I don't know, Alana. I don't know. What are you coming to set it up? Okay.
So I gotta stand behind you. Somebody can just press that. That's a lot.
No, you use this. Wait. You doing most right now.
Oh, you have to go there.
No, he has to bring them out. I thought we was using the laptop.
What's that?
I thought we was using your laptop.
You want to?
I think he said we could easily. No. This should be just Miguel. If you ever want, it would be best just to use Business Better laptop.
You can use this.
Yeah, but you on your you just click this to move for it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some off.
Be over it.
So,
It was on just now.
All right, so just stop button and then you can move it up. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All is well?
Yeah,
that's good as well. So I'm just gonna give a short intro of our Grab and Go restaurant. The name of it is Kaddish Grab and Go, okay? Okay. So our vision statement, is to create an environment where absolute guest satisfaction is our highest priority. Through a shared commitment to excellence, we are dedicated to the uncompromising quality of our food, service, people, and profit, while taking exceptional care of our guests and staff.
Here at Kaddish, our company's cultural ritual is, this serves as our anytime recognition platform to give gratitude, appreciation, and kudos to teammates. It is our key tool for employee appreciation and includes written notes of gratitude. It's also paired with points that can be redeemed as live dollar rewards.
Good evening, all. This is the initial layout of our restaurant, Kaddish Grab and Go.
Oh, nice.
Drawn by me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaddish Grab and Go includes a full kitchen, storage unit, bathroom, and an auto window with an outside dining setup. If you need to grab something quick and go, you can with our quick auto window option. Convenience and satisfaction brought to you in the same time.
And last, but by no means least, this is the history behind the birth of Kaddish Grab and Go. It is created and built on the blood, sweat, and tears of 4 group members: Kendra, Alicia, Denise Thompson, and Denise Allen Pinder. And I have our first initial highlighted for a reason. K-A-D-D, Kaddish, K-A-D-D, and the I-S-H. So that's the building of Kaddish Grab and Go. It's based and developed on the premise of fast food, grab and go business. Our menu depicts easy comfort food and can appeal to a very large audience. For instance, pizzas, burgers, wings, fries, tacos, and sweet desserts, like, of course, the owners, operators, and managers. In addition to the basic milkshakes, lemonade, we also provide signature cocktails, which highlights the perceived personality of our group members. For instance, Elise, Teeny, Kendra, Royale, Denise, Smash, and Dirty Denise. Kaddish is a family-oriented business with a mantra of providing great tasting food, radiating phenomenal customer service, respect for employees and clients and customers that will in turn build long-lasting relationships.
Amen. Good morning already. Seriously. So here at Kaddish, we were focusing on recruitment. We have a few core values that we would be presenting along with its objectives and policies. So one of our main core values here is honesty. Honesty shapes both staff and customers' trust. And to receive this trust, you need to show your trustworthiness. It is not a milestone to be achieved in a single day, but a ladder to be climbed every day. Here at Kaddish, we host a healthy work environment that fosters creativity and motivation. Therefore, we encourage honest reviews, both positive and negative, within the organization. This is an organization of freedom of speech, and you will not be judged. Honesty is a key characteristic of Kaddish as it sets the tone of our culture, provides consistency in behavior, and builds loyalty and trust in both customers and prospects. Our policies include all employees must punch in their own time card. Employees found punching in another employee's time card will be issued a written warning. All staff members should act with personal integrity, respect other staff members and customers' dignity, rights, and property, and help maintain a trustworthy work environment. Tips are accepted at Kaddish Grab and Go. However, if an employee is found harassing or begging a customer for money or tips, criminal action will be taken. Another core value we look at as it relates to hiring and recruiting is respect. Employee respect leads to a more positive work environment, which leads to increased productivity. We at Kaddish believe our entire staff benefit when they feel heard and valued and can trust their leaders or managers. Therefore, we encourage appropriate input here in the workplace. A respectful attitude is standard in the workplace regardless of personal feelings. It builds a feeling of trust, safety, and well-being. Respect shows gratitude and builds trust, and therefore we hold this core value at a high standard. Our policies regarding respect are any form of bullying, harassment, or violence will not be tolerated. Be considerate of your peers, customers, and managers. Listen to others and respect differences in beliefs and opinions. Think before you speak, language and tone. Be kind and courteous, and be willing to evolve and admit mistakes.
They say variety is the spice of life. Whether you're planning a meal to remember or grabbing a quick bite with the kids, Kaddish has the flavor you're looking for. We take pride in providing excellent, memorable experiences. We hire the best, we provide the best, and we expect the best. Our talent management program has allowed us to surround ourselves with the brightest, like-minded personnel in the industry. Core values that we look for when hiring includes innovation, consistently challenging the status quo by rising to every opportunity. Here we don't rise to challenges, we rise to opportunities. Finding new ways to build our employees, ourselves, and our brand. Delivering value to our customer. Provide consistent quality training, reaching new customers, and understanding that we are one team with one goal. How do we intend to achieve this? By motivating employees and offering incentives. These can include Employee of the Month rewards, movie and gas vouchers, phone credits, or anything of the sort. We make it safe for employees to bring new ideas to us. We encourage feedback and encourage employees to be the change that they are seeking. We also look for diversity. Diversity helps to minimize the gap between cultural differences. Diversity drives economic growth between cultural differences. It also helps to foster a more creative and innovative workforce. How do we intend to achieve this? By recruiting from a diverse pool of employees. We encourage diversity and inclusion by communicating through our channels, and this can be sending emails, posting notes on our boards, just basically keeping employees abreast and aware of what we're trying to do. Continuously finding and retaining quality staff is another thing that we look for. And also providing communication. Again, like I say, there's no way to get employees to do anything than to be repetitive. This is our culture, this is what we want, and this is what we're looking for. So by continuously communicating this is what we're hoping to achieve. And like I said, this is what when we're hiring, when we're looking for the best and the bright, these are some of the things that we look for. On to Kendra.
Hello once again. At Kaddish, we take humanity very seriously. We believe in giving as it is to give and receive. So here at Kaddish, we give all employees free lunch each and every day of their choice. Also, we team up with the community centers or local churches to do food giveaways, free of charge, of course. Okay, another core value we look at is sharing. The objectives will be taking turns, sharing the spotlight in day-to-day tasks. Every employee deserves to be, recognized. And this is important because it brings innovation in each employee. Sharing will birth constant compromise and fairness. This will also identify strategies to share knowledge of the company so that employees can be on the same page. Policies of sharing, we have shared knowledge. So share knowledge isn't knowledge unless it's passed down. Share positive vibes in the workplace. Share your concerns with each other so that solutions can be implemented in team meetings and workshops. Another core value we value so much is modesty. The objectives of modesty is to be humble at all times, be slow to speak, be teachable. Policies will include mind your manners with all work colleagues and customers, treat others the way you want to be treated. Self-control should be placed in your mind, and remember the company's goal before you start each shift.
And moving on now to me. One of our additional core values is being bold. What are you if you're not bold, especially in a fast and food type of environment in restaurants? Objectives, the ability to inspire, energize others to act and make a difference. Keeping others focused towards maximizing on priorities. Step out and not be afraid to challenge yourself. In this type of business, you need to challenge yourself. Challenge is key. Policies towards those objectives. Bold leadership is often pushed, but people also need a pull. Do you realize that? They need to be inspired and energized to act and make a difference. At Caddish Grab and Go, one of the key focuses is to always ensure employees feel safe and inspired to speak up. Fostering this type of behavior through weekly huddles and one-on-ones is paramount in our business. Good prioritization skills. What is a restaurant without prioritization? Keeping the focus. Good prioritization skills is vital in our business. Therefore, morning and midday inspections will be carried out to ensure adequate supplies are available to support a well-efficient daily operation. Setting personal goals, challenging yourself. Setting personal goals and targets inspire a culture of high performance. When an individual is recruited or hired, discussions surrounding the business performance and expectations will be discussed from inception during the employee's first day of enrollment. Another core value that is very essential to our business is commitment to customer. Objectives, improve and enhance customer service performance through providing excellent service. Develop practices and techniques on how to serve customers. Provide essential training to all hires. Our policies. At Caddish Grab and Go, response time to our customers is truly important. Therefore, we are committed to responding to our customers within 24 hours. After an employee is recruited or hired, they will be required to undergo a 2-week shadow training. You know what a shadow training? That's a real one-on-one. That's shadowing somebody who's the best of the best and making sure that you gravitate and you pull so you too become a great employee at Caddish Grab and Go. So shadowing training exercise led by our top recruits who have been previously onboarded will be leading these types of initiatives. Always making certain that survey cards are distributed to all customers, which will allow candid, diverse feedback towards business performance. Committing to providing the relevant coaching and training to all employees through virtual platforms or in-person seminars and workshops. This is how we're going to achieve the birthing of Caddish Grab and Go. Wow. And just before the next team comes up, of course, what is a takeout business without our first customers sampling what we do with excellence at caddis grabbing.
Yes. Yeah.
Extra point.
So you go for back. You're always just bring us
I think that's fine. I don't go there. They're coming back.
Appreciate you.
You can just put one on my desk, right? Don't forget me.
Sorry.
Thank you. So tell Bobby she said we gotta fly down. She might do that right now.
Yeah, she can.
I hear the dinner right now is correct. I'm very late.
Okay.
So those who are beginning, you gonna take one technique?
Away.
It's one. Because you're gonna get another surprise technique.
My hold on. So let's start out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you gotta bring it.
Bring it, get y'all right now.
Don't stop.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we can wait.
Okay, we be advertised for 1 week. And a half a sandwich, Miss Bethel. Yes, we'll let you up. You wanna. You want to okay.
I already have my sandwich.
Cold cuts.
Oh, and see them out. Yes.
Or the some.
Going all up.
There's which way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, I have tuna and this one here. This one that I have. You?
Ready for us? Yeah.
Enjoy your food while y'all watching.
Going in, what is what?
This is one of us like.
Okay, that's full fun. No, I just want to feed them. Full no? So they get you.
Thank you. I'm telling you, thank you in advance.
Yes, we're gonna have your stuff.
Yeah,
We have to let
you sample it.
Bring it in.
Yeah, and enjoy it later.
Unfortunately, fully Florida.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I need to get a conversation. Yes.
Apparently.
It's all wing area. That's a wing there.
Okay. I can't wait to eat.
I know, right?
Very bubbly. Like for real.
Okay, so they 4 for you all. And who else wants another sandwich? You can get one.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so guys.
Put that on our table.
Thank you so guys for accommodating us. No man.
So customer service ain't blessing.
Be like that.
I made a Facebook boycott.
Be like that, please.
Okay, guys, now that you all are all seated with your meals, we will go ahead and have
Mr. Morley.
Mr. Morley introduce our company, give you all a brief history, and there we go.
Good evening, ladies. We would like to welcome you to our presentation of Investify. I'd like to introduce Ms. Samantha. She's my VP for training development. And we have Ms. Crystal here, who is also my VP for compensation and benefits. And I'd like to welcome and introduce myself, Mr. Jason Morley, as the CEO. Now, here at Investify, what we are an investment company. And what we do, we cater to both the local and to the expats. And what that means is that we trade. We trade from as little as $1 to as much as 1 million. It doesn't matter where you are, who you're from, what you do, we will trade it for you. And that's our business. As a part of our mantra, one of the things that we focus on is this: no one good idea comes from one person. What that means to us is that our core values represents diversity. Diversity in the workplace, diversity in the way we think, what we strive for, and what we do. And what that looks like is that we have a balanced workforce of 500 people, 275 men, 225 women.
Yes.
We prefer more. And the reason why that is because men and women complement each other. And to that end, as a part of our recruitment strategy, we developed an algorithm that pinpointed several key attributes that look at merit-based functions between both men and women to help us achieve the success that we've achieved so far from 1998 to 2023. We started off with a small base of 25 million in capital. And because of our algorithm for recruitment, we've been able to generate as much as 400 million. Thank you. We owe our success a lot in part to diversity. Reason being is because both men and women have a part to play in the ideas that they can come up with to bring value to a company. Outside of diversity, while that being our most core and important value, we also value innovation. Innovation is something that we pride ourselves on being an investment company because we have to be on the cutting edge of technology that we come up with to be, okay? We pride ourselves on the technology because we have to be at the cutting edge to offer people the best service, the best products. What those look like are stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, foreign exchange, as well as mutual funds. My apologies. Now, as I move into what we do in terms of how the diversity helps us to achieve all this, I want to take you back into our history. In 1998, as a part of a very unconventional, very unconventional recruitment strategy, we held what we call our trade-off. And what that is we provided over 100 contestants kiosks where what they do is they trade. And whoever generated the most profits from those trades in the space of 2 hours, we hired the first 50 winners as the maximum. You'll be surprised to know that out of those 50, 30 were women. And so for us, because we collected that particular piece of data, we understood that, back to our mantra, no one good idea comes from one person, but from the many. Now, as a part of our guiding factor or force, I should say, when we deal with diversity, what we did was we have what we call gender dynamics and gender dynamic forums. What that means is we gathered both the men and the women in our company. And what we did is we fleshed out how different policies and procedures affect different genders, how they look at it, how they perceive it, and how they feel afterwards. What we discovered is that for the women were more emotionally based, even though they were very intelligent based. So they based their decisions based on a myriad of things, but the emotions normally are the things that drive them the most. And so in having those gender-based studies, we were able to understand and acclimatize both them and the men to be able to effectively communicate with one another and to work as a team. Now, I know that's a stretch because we all know men think one way, women think another way. However, based on our financial success, I can say that that's not an issue for us here at Investify. But not just that, though. We wanted to take it one step further. Outside of just gender diversity, we wanted to look at cultural diversity because we understand that persons from different countries add a dynamic and a flavor to the workforce that we just simply cannot deny. And so to that end, we also developed what we call culture-based studies, wherein we employed everybody from myself, the CEO, the vice presidents, from the top straight down to our employees, because where understanding starts is from the top and it trickles down to the bottom. And so to that end, how we did it, So how we did it is that we did training sessions, monthly training sessions for everybody to come together and to discuss based on their cultural differences, how they approach certain scenarios, how would they handle specific job functions and tests and what have you. And based on that, we designed a template as a guiding force for our 500 employees that are based in 50 different countries. And so what that looks like is that we have a paradigm where for each country, there's a specific layout for how they're supposed to perform their job function, work as a team, and also generate the necessary funds for the company. As an added incentive for them, as a part of our employee maintenance process, each month, we do the trade-off, but it's between the employees. And what happens is, the person that wins and makes the most, they get their yearly salary as a bonus.
I need something like
But we understand with the recruitment process, we tailored our procedures and our policies in an unconventional way because we understand that in order to get the best or to retain the best, we have to give the best.
Yeah, right.
And so, in addition, one of the things for this company is that we put our money where our mouth is in relation to servicing our clients. Remember what I told you, we trade from as little as $1 to as much as $1 million. Now, as you all know, with any investment, there is a certain level of risk. And as you know, with investments, they're regulated, so you can only trade under a certain amount. Now,
using leverage.
Yeah. But we do it a little differently. We're not breaking any laws, by no means. However, what we do based on what our annual intake is from our own bottom line, we put 5% of that to use as leverage, to trade as little as $1, as high as $1 million, and we mitigate any of the negative side effects of the market going another way. So that's our guarantee to not only our clients, but also to our staff as well, because in addition to them, making those trades, whatever they make on those trades, we also give that back to them as a bonus as well.
So they don't lose.
So we don't, correct, we don't lose either way. Now, what I want to do now is I want to turn it over to Samantha, who's my VP. So she's gonna talk about now how we manage it all and how we get our employees from just being regular employees who come in and enjoy the perks and benefits to now being leaders and beyond, because that's something that we're also big on here at Investify. We train our employees to not just be here stuck on one level, but we challenge them and push them to be leaders.
Thank you, Mr. Morley. Okay, now, looking from, as you said, you know, we want to challenge our employees. We want them to become leaders. We want them to go as high as they can possibly go. And you do that by learning more. You know, the more you learn, well, the higher you go. Strategic point, we're looking at a strategic point of view now. Succession management, okay? Now, at an Investify, that's the name of our company, strategic succession management forms the foundation of our leadership development efforts. Succession management starts with position-based planning and is implemented alongside our performance management process. This enables us to make proper employee-based decisions that enable us to have a sustainable pipeline of internal talent for all and even more critical positions, and that these individuals are intentionally developed for enhanced responsibility. You know, I'm sure we've seen it in many workplaces. Cross-training, my experience with my former employer, cross-training. They would have each individual at some point train on another's desk so they can learn that function. So service cannot be impacted if for some reason somebody is missing. As we are an investment company responsible for our clients' assets, succession planning is critical to our environment. This is done to ensure continued high standard management of our clients' assets, like I just mentioned, even in unforeseen circumstances. Our clients have entrusted their investment with our company and at all times should feel secure and confident in choosing us. It is critical that we have a strengthened talent pool in the succession pipeline with a focus on individuals in the institution. As we play a role in the daily management of our clients' investments, keeping informed is key. We have to know what's happening out there in the world. We have to know the changes that are taking place. We have to keep up with the day-to-day ongoings, the different changes, especially with technology, you know. At any time, a leader is able to perform any task with regards to the client's investment transaction, whether it be executing a trade on an investment facility or processing a transaction for cryptocurrencies, as well as Forex trading. We have created our 24-hour service that facilitates our clients' needs, which is very important. You know, your client has to feel that they can call on you at any time. 2 a.m. in the morning, oh wow, you know what? I saw that, I think I want to invest in that stock. Let me call my, and I'm calling Mr. Morley and I can't get it. That can't work.
No,
you know, I don't want to miss this opportunity. You are here to work for me. Excuse me, sorry. I lost where I was just now.
Okay.
With a staffing of 500 employees, our clients will not be inconvenienced because being the #1 investment firm is our top priority. Now we're going to look at organizational development, you know, which is, again, very important. Like I mentioned earlier, we want to keep up with what's going on. Leaders play a critical role in creating the climate and culture we strive for. A culture which enables our employees to thrive and keep the company operating in success. At Investify, organizational development is key focus. In the ongoing development of our institution, we must first start with our leaders. Our leadership capability model outlines the view on the capabilities which underpin effective leadership. It reflects Investify's strategic requirements and is backed by rigorous research to pinpoint the knowledge and skills that from the core of effective leadership. Now, we can't just say, oh, we're going to have effective leadership. How do we do that? We have to research and find out the best ways to do this. So this is why we have a rigorous research in order to go ahead and do what we have to do to make sure that we have effective leadership. At Investify, our leaders continuously develop themselves by applying capabilities to changing environments. They must simultaneously build the capabilities of their teams they manage and create an environment that supports continuous learning. So don't tell me you come into work just to do your task. No. See, because at the same time, when we push you, I don't want to say push, when we encourage you to learn more, you're not just empowering the company, you're empowering you. Now, we don't want to lose you as an employee, but guess what? We're giving you those skills and that knowledge. If you decide you don't want to be with us, you know, unfortunately, we wouldn't want that to happen. At the same time, fostering change and innovation cannot come at the expense of our customers' best interests. Behavior and business practices are guided by a clear sense of purpose and principles at all times. In fostering development in our leaders, this drives the organizational development of the institution. Crystal?
Sorry, before we go into Crystal, I want to just piggyback on something that Samantha would have. Sorry. I want to piggyback on something that she said, and I want to emphasize this is a part of Investify's overall strategy in relation to recruitment and how we deal with our employees. One of our values that I neglected to mention was a safe work environment as a part of recruitment. Now, at Investify, there are several core standards and policies that we have in effect for our employees in the way that they should conduct themselves, not just within the office, but also when they deal with our external clients as well as the wider community. Now, there are a couple of key things that we do a little differently at Investify. We don't skirt the labor law. It's just that when you come to Investify and you want to work for us, you know that we are an unconventional company. And so we have a little bit more flexible rules-based system while still adhering to the labor laws of each and every country that we operate in. One of the things that you'll find is that we have a stiffer penalty in relation to when companies when employees step out of line. I don't know if I want to tell you this because it's my cause, but I can tell you it anyway. There are times where employees will step out of line, and because we give bonuses annually, because we have top performing employees, should they step out of line, they lose their bonus automatically without hesitation, and they're docked a month's pay. But because we pay what we pay, we can afford to do that. So their performance and the way that they behave is essentially tied into what we pay them and the benefits that we provide.
Makes sense.
Okay. Also, in addition to that, for us, we take a more hands-on approach when we have to deal with specific situations regarding our employees. What we do first and foremost is we always investigate because that's required. We need to know both sides. We don't usually go with one side because you find that with one side, you leave out the other and then you open yourself up to lawsuits. So here at Investify, we frown upon that. And so we always do our due diligence for every query that we have. It is always done in private. It is always confidential. It only affects the parties that are involved, first and foremost. We have a non-discriminatory policy in relation to not discriminating against either sex, either culture as well. We also have a sexual harassment policy that is strictly enforced at all times on a day-to-day basis. And last but not least, our measures of how we deal with our employees ranges anywhere from a simple verbal warning to a write-up to outright summary dismissal. And that's based on the severity of what happens or, the infractions that they would have committed while being a representative of Investify. And so here at Investify, we foster safe work environments for all of those that are interested in applying. We offer good benefits and packages as well as remuneration. And so I want to now turn it over to my VP for Comp and Benefits, Crystal.
Hey, so I'm going to discuss how Investify has a compensation strategy. Most companies,
Some companies, they don't have a compensation strategy. And when they don't, it opens up the door for salary decisions or remuneration to be, I guess, biased, or you have management making biased decisions because, oh, I like that employee, or she performs better, but I mean, she didn't perform too good, but I don't know. I'm feeling her. So I could pay her well. And when you don't have a compensation strategy, it does not guide you appropriately of how to pay your employee. And so therefore we come up with a compensation strategy. So when it comes to our compensation and benefits, we do not discriminate, we compensate. We have created a compensation strategy that is fair, transparent, and supports the objectives of our business strategy. We set salary ranges to determine how raises and bonuses are calculated. Our compensation practices and framework always support our remuneration approach and is crucial to Investify. You see, many companies, like I said, do not focus on the methodologies for their compensation and benefits, but we do because we understand the success factor it brings to our organization. To our organization, workforce, and business design, such as attracting and retaining top talent. It's essential to our budget, ensures pay equity, and it fosters employee motivation. Okay. In addition, benefits are fully paid for all that join our workforce. Just to name a few of our benefits include salary plus commission, health and life insurance, plus we have an optional pension plan that we contribute to. So even it's not mandatory. You know, most companies, they require you to pay 5 or 10%, and they would probably match it or not, but it isn't required of you to, I guess, participate. So, I mean, but right. So if you don't participate, we still contribute at least 20%. You have at least.
We can afford it. Is that we can afford it.
Yeah.
There's a very good company. Yeah.
Right. So that's why everybody loves Investify.
Yeah. Amen.
Put in your application.
But thank you very much for.
No, I'm not finished.
I'm sorry.
Right. So the other process that we focus on at Investify, and it is very important, is employee records. So we believe in keeping an employee's files safe, confidential, and under lock and key. We have a confidential policy to safeguard staff information and in turn protects the company's reputation and practices. Employee records are employee records are kept for a minimum of 10 years. However, employee records are kept for a minimum of 10 years, however, varies by the country and their rules and regulations. Lastly, we manage employees' information through an HRIS system, which is a human resource information system. Larger companies use it. Maybe BEC uses it or NIB, I don't know. Because you said you have 600. Oh, okay. So yeah, there are like several HR systems that companies use. So we use an HRIS system, which is updated by employees and monitored by the HR staff. Considering we have 500 employees, by far, these HR systems are very beneficial to Investify by streamlining a lot of our processes of collecting employee data. And that is the end of our presentation.
Very informative.
And the money. Oh.
A restaurant.
No, I get anything like that.
Please. We have one more.
Yeah.
Take the one. Yeah.
Where's the, what do you give for the cable? He moved his computer.
He had to plug into the thing with
Sorry.